What's up, everyone? We are live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It is Tuesday, February 5th. I'm Paul Winter.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And who's over there? Oh, my God. Is it Eric King, special
King.
guest star? How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
How's your day? It's really warm in New York City today.
It's
been
like
warm.
spring-like.
It's very weird.
Yeah,
I'm sure
it's
it's going to
very
snow tomorrow.
Probably.
Hey, Beth. Great guest star today. Who's here?
Well, Casey Garvin's here, but it's, from King Kong. So you are hyped up. You're excited.
I love King Kong, and he is so fantastic. Like, when I first saw it in previews, I'm like, we got to get him on.
Yeah.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
He is a Paw and a fake Carl, and we're going to talk to him all about it. But first, today's top 5.
A Tony nominee and this upcoming bio musical are singing Let's Stay Together.
We knew this was going to happen, but we're excited. Adrienne Warren,
Yes.
Tony nominee Adrienne Warren, is officially coming back to Broadway to star in Tina, the Tina Turner musical.
Which we just saw
We
a
saw it in
couple weeks
London.
ago.
We also talked to her. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's pouring her heart and soul into this very difficult, emotional
Okay,
part.
can I just say, it's like such an epic performance.
It's
and then
huge.
5 minutes later backstage, she's just
like,
like,
"What's
hey,
up?"
guys,
Yeah,
how you doing?
no big deal. No
like,
big deal.
you would have no idea that she's doing this enormous.
We thought she'd be like vomiting on the side of the stage because it's so much going on.
Yeah.
But no,
Nope.
she's cool. We don't have a lot of information yet about when and where. So Broadway dates and
Oh,
venue
they didn't
to
say
be
when
announced.
it's starting yet?
No.
In the fall.
But
in
let me
the
tell
fall.
you this. Adrienne will be playing in the West End through April 13th. Tina features a book by Katori Hall and direction by Phillida Lloyd. Heavy hitters, right?
Yep.
And, of course, you know that Adrienne Warren got a Tony nomination for Shuffle Along, one of my favorite shows. So
And she got her start in Bring It On, which
Bring
is
It
like,
On.
that cast of Bring It On has done very well for themselves.
yeah, they're all still on Broadway in different things, which is amazing.
And full casting is set for this upcoming Broadway revival.
You are speaking of All My Sons, which I believe Mr. Arthur Miller wrote.
You do believe
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Okay.
good play. I've seen it before, and we already knew that Annette Bening, which is very exciting, and Tracy
Yes.
Letts.
Correct.
Are you excited about Annette Bening?
Hell yeah.
Have you ever seen Bugsy?
No.
I highly recommend it.
Good movie.
I'm just saying that she has amazing. Just watch it. But they're coming. But now we found out Benjamin Walker, if you prefer,
I
who
prefer.
we've seen be fantastic in musicals like American Psycho, which we actually love here at the office.
Sure.
And plays in the past.
Yes.
Like Les Liaisons
Dangereuses
French one.
at the Roundabout.
He's going to play the very juicy role of Chris Keller, who's the son. I think Patrick Wilson did that in the last Broadway revival.
Was that the Patrick
Yep.
Wilson role?
It was.
There you go.
Also, hope I don't screw up your name, Chinasa Ogbuagu, playing Sue. Michael Hayden, who is a fantastic Billy
Wonderful.
Bigelow, among other things. Nehal Joshi and Jenny Barber are all joining the cast. And as we announced previously, it was supposed to be Gregory Mosher directing, but now
Right.
Jack O'Brien has taken over
correct.
because Gregory Mosher wanted to set it on space. No, I just made
No,
that
that's
up.
not
But
true.
something happened.
He
And the Arthur
had a
Miller
different
estate-
vision for casting.
He wanted to put a big monkey in them on stage
no,
with a
there's
bunch
no
of
King Kong.
puppeteers. No.
He had a different vision for casting.
Anyway, Jack O'Brien
There
is
you
in
go.
very good hands. It's going to start at the American Airlines Theater. This is a roundabout production on April 4th.
And this live musical that we were all excited about has been canceled.
This was
Bummer.
shocking news.
I was upset. So what we're saying is Hair Live, which was announced by NBC, has been scrapped. It's canceled. It was supposed to happen
This
on
is
May
not
19th.
good news, you guys. It's not good news for fans
No,
of live
they
musicals
said-
on TV.
The co-chairman of NBC Entertainment, I'm going to read this part, said, since these shows are enormous undertakings, we need titles that have a wide appeal. But doesn't Hair have a wide appeal? That's me interjecting, sorry. And we're in the process of acquiring the rights to a couple of new shows that we're really excited about.
Okay, but the backstory, I think, partially, well, we're going to
It
talk.
was Diane Paulus was to direct it, who did
Yeah,
the revival.
which is great. But Robert Greenblatt is no longer at NBC, right? And
Is he not?
He helped bring all of this musical. Smashed, it was his baby.
And Neil Marin and the late Craig Zadan
Right.
also were a part of
So
that.
he is no longer here. So I don't know these guys. But Bob Greenblatt was helping bring all the Broadway stuff on TV, but also the Rent Live ratings.
We're not great,
huge
but that was on Fox, just to be clear.
But-
Right. It was disappointing.
You know what made me nervous about Rent Live? I feel like doing a dramatic musical piece is very different than doing Grease. So, like, remember a lot of people were like, why are they scream cheering? Why is the audience so loud and rambunctious? It worked after a few numbers.
Yeah.
Like Take Me or Leave Me.
Sure.
But I love Rent, and I did kind of miss the silence. You know, when you see like one of those like
The
a musical
moving
like Rent, I
moments.
like sitting in the silence and like slowly weeping, slowly starting to have all the tears come. And you couldn't really do that.
Well, Hair has both rambunctious numbers
but I feel like
and
Hair
quiet
also
numbers.
has a lot of
Jesus
really
Christ
dark.
Superstar is dramatic. I just want to say that was more of a
but
concert.
but they had pop stars, and it was more. It worked for. It's also very heightened, and
True.
Rent is very. I don't know. I understand.
Anyway,
their
they're not doing
concern.
Hair, so we don't have to talk about if they're going to get naked or not, which was the big topic. And we'll see what they're going to come up with.
They're just
next.
going to do like lightweight musicals, which
We'll
is
see. They said
fine.
they have some new
But
sh-
it's just interesting.
I just
Do
want,
Legally Blonde.
I just want them. Thank you for your
Right?
vote. I just want them to keep doing live musicals. I think it's cool,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Your daughter needs to get caught up on all these shows, so it's helpful.
That's right.
And this hit comedy film, it's becoming a musical.
The Secret of My Success is a mid-level Michael J. Fox movie from the 80s, right? It was kind of like not
don't
one of his
remember
most
this one.
iconic. It's not Teen Wolf or Back to the Future.
It's not Teen Wolf or Back to the Future.
But it was a very funny movie set in the business world. Came out in 1987. They're making a musical of it, which I think we've announced before. Gordon Greenberg, who just directed The Heart of Rock and Roll, the Huey Lewis musical, and still working on that, wrote the book with Steve Rosen, who is in the other Josh Cohen.
Yes, he is.
And wrote the other Josh Cohen.
And was sitting right here.
And
not
a
that
score
long ago.
by two people I don't know, Michael Mahler and Alan Schumacher. Alan Schumacher, I like that name. Anyway, it's kind of like how to succeed in business without really trying. It's about like a young guy
in the 80s.
who starts in the 80s corporate world. He starts in the business world, and then he gets laid off, and then he pretends like he's somebody else. Anyway, they're making a musical of it, and now we just found out that next February 12th, which is like a year from now, it will be done in Chicago at the Paramount, actually not in Chicago, in Aurora, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago, at the Paramount Theater. So this is exciting, potentially a big new musical to pay attention to.
And this other buzzy musical has raked in some award noms.
The Helen Hayes Awards nominations, is that right?
Yeah,
Were
DC
announced
Awards.
in Washington, D.C. And Dave, the world premiere of the musical, Dave, earned 7 Helen Hayes nominations. This musical, you guys, we've talked about this before, but let's go through it. Drew Gehling earned a nomination for his leading role, playing Dave, and also for, I'm going to say her name wrong, so tell me.
Brianna Marie Parham, who's
Thank
been
you.
here on Live at
She's
5.
been here. Doug Sills and director Tina Landau.
Is it Brianna?
I think so.
I think so.
Brianna.
Tom Kitt,
I'm
Nell
getting
Benjamin.
nods.
We're getting some nods in the room. Thank you, everyone. I want to make sure we get it right. We don't want to upset anyone. Tom Kitt, who created with Nell Benjamin and the late Tom Meehan, and Tina Landau, with whom he worked on SpongeBob. They were all nominated.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, all good stuff.
So when's it come to Broadway, Beth?
That is the question. TBD. Also, Corbin Bleu.
He wasn't in that.
No, he wasn't, but he was nominated for Helen Hayes
For
Award.
what?
Good catch.
For Anything Goes at the Arena
Oh.
Stage, but now he'll be in Kiss Me Kate on Broadway. And Ephraim Sykes from Ain't Too Proud. Carrie Compare for The Color
Coming to
Purple.
Broadway.
Van Cox for The Comedy of
Oh,
Errors.
Van Cox. She's
And-
always award worthy.
I love her. And she's going back to D.C. to do The Music Man.
Look at you paying attention.
Sort of. And not to people's pronunciations, apparently. Also, Eugene Lee, who was recently in American Son, was nominated for 2 Trains Running. So cool stuff.
He was so great. He was here on Live at 5.
He's a great guy.
I love him, and I'm so excited that the Netflix taping just happened, I think. For
American Son.
American Son. That's coming to Netflix with Bruce Springsteen. Is that all you
Bruce
got?
Springsteen is not an American Son, but he is
but he's
an
on
American
Netflix.
Son.
He's
He
on
is-
Netflix.
He is on
I'd like
Netflix.
to see that.
Thank you, Beth. That was very informative.
Thank you, Paul. I'm going to get out of here.
Thank you. Hey, Eric, tell us more about today's guest.
I'd love to. After touring across the country with West Side Story for 2 years, Casey Garvin made his Broadway debut in Bullets Over Broadway in 2014. The actor then went on to play in ensembles of Disaster and Miss Saigon. Now he's pulling a triple threat in King Kong as Fake Carl, an ensemble member, and a King's Company puppeteer. Follow his Kong adventures on Instagram at Casey Garvin. And everybody, please welcome Paul and Casey.
Hello, Casey.
Hello.
So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm
How's
happy
it
to
going
be here.
over at the Broadway?
It's going so great.
Yeah?
Yeah, we actually are hitting our 100th show on
I know.
Wednesday, tomorrow.
Happy 100.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
I've done almost all of them.
What does that mean? A cake?
A cake for sure.
Do you eat
I
cake?
think maybe a Kong cake. It's a
Kong-
rumor.
oh.
We'll see.
That big? like how big
Like
is
huge.
that? That
I
seems
hope
like,
the
you know,
size of
that
Kong.
would have to
That'd be
be-
great.
Do you get to eat cake when you are under the physical regimen of being in King Kong?
I try to eat as healthy as possible.
Yes.
But with how strenuous the show is, I think we all can afford some extra
I
sugar.
agree. You guys deserve it. You are so funny in the show.
Thank you.
Because let me, for people who haven't seen King Kong, first of all, I love it. The whole staff here loves it. It was on our list of top 5 shows of 2018. I want to be very clear. We are pro Kong here in the
Yay.
office, and it's not just me. We
that.
love King Kong. But you get such a great. You are one of the performers that operate Kong.
Yes, the King's
the
Company.
right
I'm
arm.
on the right paw.
Paw was correct. I didn't know if I
you
was
were right.
correct in
You're right.
saying paw, which means the left paw from the audience. Right? When
Yes,
you're looking,
yes, when you're looking at Kong,
look at
it's
it.
your
being clear, in
left.
case people want to
Kong's
check your
right.
work when they go see it.
Yeah,
But you also get a fantastic little moment. So Carl Denham is the male lead of the show.
Yes.
And he is a filmmaker and maybe, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Go see the show. But within the show, you know, they go in the island. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they go to the island
plot.
and they get this
Similar
monkey and they
plot.
bring him back to New York. And they do a musical, which is one of my favorite things about Jack Thorne and Drew McOney's adaptation of
Yeah.
Kong. 'Cause I'm a big Kong fanatic. Is I love the musical within the musical. So it's like you guys are rehearsing a stage show for the presentation of Kong, because in the movie that's just kind of like the show is like you see Kong and change, but now it's like a whole show.
Yeah, because it's a Broadway show. We have
And
to
you
put
get to
some-
play fake Carl.
Yes.
So you're playing Carl Denham.
what he imagines in his head.
So he imagines himself with very large guns.
Yes.
Because you do a lot of
I
this.
do a lot of flexing,
Just,
very
go,
kind
just
of
like do like
little-
there's a lot of
little-
this Popeye, a lot of this Popeye action happening.
Yeah, I get to come out and kind of be the hyper
very funny.
masculine Gaston-esque
Yeah.
version of Carl Denham,
Yeah.
which is just ridiculous. And
Was
silly.
it fun developing that? in
Yeah, you know,
rehearsal?
it
And
grew
was that?
from-
Did you audition for that?
No,
Or
I did
that
not.
come later?
So I auditioned as a dancer first and for the King's Company, and that was a
love the
pretty
King's
rigorous. Yeah, the
Company.
King's Company. It was the King's Men in Australia.
Sounds so
but-
regal.
Yeah, the King's Company.
Oh, it was the King's
Yeah, so it was the
Men.
King's Men in Australia, but we have two.
Time's up.
Yeah, time's up. Truly, we have two amazingly strong and talented women
I know.
on Kong, and a female swing for the King's Company, and she covers more than just the female tracks on Kong.
Okay.
And so then when we got into rehearsal, I guess Tara Rubin, the casting director, kind of informed Drew that I could do this bit. And it was a bit smaller in the lab. And
So you did the
The
lab,
song was
too.
different. I did do the lab back in 2017.
True or false? The lab had a guy in a monkey suit.
False. He
I heard one
was
of them
not
might
in
have.
a
One of the
suit.
readings might have.
Really?
I don't know. It's just a
Well,
rumor.
he was. His name was Harley. He had worked on the Australian version of Kong.
Okay.
He is a stunt. I'm gonna butcher exactly what his job
He's
is.
a fancy
in all sorts.
title.
He does a lot of things. Yeah,
Okay.
in film and TV. And he was playing Kong and physicalizing Kong.
Okay.
And actually, when we were rehearsing for Broadway too, we had one of the King's Company voodoo members in as Kong to physicalize with
Okay,
Christiane.
so there was a guy being
so
Kong.
that she was playing the scenes with another human to
Okay.
get the emotional depth. And then when we got on stage closer to Tech, she was playing the scenes against Kong, which is difficult. He is very realistic, but she
Right.
is a freaking star for being able to act these scenes against a puppet.
Right. Yes, she's fantastic.
Anyway,
So there was no monkey mask.
there was no monkey
Thank
mask.
you for clarifying.
But then I took this, little bit in the lab, and for Broadway, I got a little bit more material.
We're like,
and kind of
I have
just
some
milked
ideas
it.
for this fake Carl track.
Yeah, it was just silly and
It's
stupid.
very fun.
But thank you.
Yeah, and
I
you
enjoy
get big
it.
laughs.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a really entertaining
it.
part of the show.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
exciting.
Yeah.
So you're a Jersey boy.
I am. I
Jersey-
grew up 45 minutes away, but like an hour away.
Okay.
In Ringwood, New Jersey.
Okay, so which means exposed to Broadway early on?
Oh yeah. All I can remember. Not all I
First
can remember.
show?
Some of my first. Oh, probably Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, that's a lot of people's first show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on Broadway for a while.
Yeah.
In the big Disney age, the first Disney age.
Do you remember who your belle was?
I saw a couple. I saw Christy Carlson Romano as
That was-
Belle.
yep.
She wasn't my first though. I went back quite a few times. As
Oh,
a
really? Okay.
Young child. Yeah, we saw shows a lot.
Because you were
growing up in
studying
Jersey.
Gaston. You're like, someday I'm going to do something
I was
like
probably
this.
studying Belle at that point, to be honest. To be like, oh, she's great. No, but Gaston, yes. Yeah, I would come in the city all the time. And then in high school, I don't recommend skipping class in high school ever,
Nope.
but I would skip class and come take dance class all day in the city and audition and kind of, I knew from when I was a kid that
Amazing.
this is what I wanted to do.
And what was your first like real gig? Your first professional gig?
I did a show when I was 17 at Paper Mill.
Which one?
Peter Pan.
Who was Pan?
Nancy Anderson. She's
I think
fantastic.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
was
did see that.
Nana. I was in the dog suit.
Oh.
And I was a Indian and a pirate.
Were you the left paw of Nana? The
I
right
was
paw?
both paws.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I was
the
working
whole
my way
front.
forward. Yeah, it was all of the dog. They
Cool.
were like, give it to the young kid.
Yeah. And then what was your first Broadway show?
My first Broadway show was Bullets Over Broadway.
Right.
which
You were one of
was-
those gangster guys.
I was.
Yeah.
Tap dancing gangster.
Yeah. Was that
Which-
fun? You worked with Stroman.
Oh my gosh,
So
she's-
Susan Stroman gave you the gig.
Yes, I went in, I was doing a summer stock job at the time, and I only had maybe an hour and a half lunch break, both on, say, a Wednesday and Thursday. Ran in, did the audition, ran back to rehearsal, ran in the next day for the callback, did the audition, sang, and then ran out. And then that day they called me, and she just saw something in me and was really incredible and gave me the opportunity. And working with Stro's a dream.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so lucky that my first job was with her.
So what are your like? I actually read an interview with you on Broadway Box, one of our sister website, Broadway Box, and you said that you wanted to play Billy Bigelow. I'm a
I would
big
love to.
Carousel freak.
Yeah.
I love Carousel and King Kong. This shows my range. But
Different kinds of art,
but you
for
also
sure.
said you would love to dance with Dream with Louise and the ballet.
Yeah, I would
I'm into
love
that.
I would love some sort of, even if it's, maybe not together, but if they had some sort of really beautiful contemporary moment.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll end up directing and choreographing it if I can't play Billy.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
I think at some point I'd love to
Sure.
do directing and choreographing.
Cool. How's Drew McOney? He's
Drew's a
like
dream.
12, and he's the
Yeah,
director choreographer
brilliant.
of King Kong. He's not 12, but he looks very young.
I think he's young. We'll say that. Yeah, he's very smart. Watching him do his own choreography, which I always think this way about choreographers, is watching them do their own movement is really
Yeah.
special. But watching Drew dance, you forget that, he was a dancer first, obviously, but
Yeah.
he is very smart in his direction, and his choreography makes a lot of sense. And for Kong, he knew that this was going to be a physical storytelling kind of show. So, yeah, his movement is just really beautiful. I love getting to dance his stuff.
I've never seen him dance.
Yeah,
He
got
should
to
come
see
in
a
and
lot.
dance.
He
Isn't
would,
he going to be here for the 100th performance?
yeah, we
Tell him
should.
to
I'm
come
gonna
in here
make
and
him
dance.
Do
I
some
wanna-
of the movement with us.
Yeah.
we should do a flash mob or something.
What is the backstage world of Kong like? Because I don't know. First of all, the fake Carl thing happens in Act 2,
Yes.
obviously. What is happening with all these performers that are operating this monkey, and what is your? I feel like it'd be
my
fun to have a
track.
camera on you about
Yeah,
like, what you're doing
100%.
through the night.
Well, because I don't think a lot of people know that we as King's Company members, as soon as Kong is out on the stage, the first time you see him, we are doing a lot of the rigging for the carabiners on different points of
Yeah.
his body, which connect to an apparatus that makes him a marionette puppet. And we don't have almost any downtime during the show. I have a little bit more in Act 2 thanks to Fake Carl, but we still, during Act 1, I have maybe 2.5 minutes of break, and most of that is either changing or rigging Kong up so
Wow.
that he, the curtain will come down and he will be on his apparatus and it'll move into the next position. We'll get him down on the floor. We'll start rigging different things, working on making sure that all the ropes are in specific pockets. It would be cool to have like a GoPro or something on us at some
Yeah,
point
yeah.
to see during the show how much a King's Company member at any time is just like doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I get a little bit less of having to move carabiners because I'm on the inside of the paw, which is a little bit more of the brunt force work as opposed to getting specific with pulleys and winches. But
what I love about the show is how all that is exposed. I
Yeah.
love how they're not hiding that you're on
Right.
stage. I love that you guys are part of, and there
Yeah.
actually are moments that are sort of worked in where it's kind of like, hi, we're all up here with
yeah,
Kong.
yeah,
and
that's
I
actually
love
one of my
that.
favorite moments. Is there's a moment where we all kind of
Yeah.
breathe out,
It's a beautiful
and then
moment.
breathe back in, and yeah, we're supposed to be like, I don't want to say the spirit of Kong because that sounds like a thing, but it's like we are serving this creature and we are very much part of him.
What are you hearing from audience members?
They love it. People
Yeah.
who see the show are just astounded. Even, I don't want to say snobby New York people who
Right.
come in
But there are.
expecting
There's a lot of
something.
snobby
There are,
people
yeah.
here.
And you know what? That's okay because everyone has a different view of art, and that's what makes art art.
Yeah.
Is the subjection. But people are just like shocked when he comes out, especially, and it's nothing that anyone has ever seen
Right.
before.
Right.
So
I know.
people are going crazy.
It's shocking.
They're screaming. There's a couple moments where it's a little bit scary.
Yeah,
Where
oh,
he first comes out and we get a couple screams followed by then laughter because people are so involved with us.
People also love to film it.
Yeah.
Both
That
times I saw it, I
drives me
sat
crazy.
behind. Actually, a really funny story. The last time I've seen it more than once, people. Last time I saw it, this guy in front of me just picked his phone up.
Yeah.
And just started filming Kong, and I was like, "Sir, you can't." I'm like the police when I go see King Kong. I'm like, "You can't film this. It's a live experience." But then I realized it looks really good on the camera, but you can't film it. And the funny thing was, I said to the guy, I don't think English was his first language. I said, "You can't do that," and he just handed me his phone. And I held his phone for the rest of Act 2.
thought you
And
were
I was
an usher?
like, what am I? And it was in another language. But I was kind of like, okay, sure, I'll hold your phone. If that'll stop you, if you need the drug taken away from you, I will hold
I'll
it.
take it.
But yeah, but it's like
it
it's
drives
one of
me
those moments where you
crazy.
kind of go like, I want to remember this moment forever. So I understand the urge,
Yeah.
but live it in your mind
Yeah,
forever, or
enjoy
just go
the
see it again.
moment. I'm sure there's plenty of bootlegs of me because we see it from the front when we bring Kong down to the front of the stage. There are plenty of moments where I'm literally staring at someone with the phone, and I'm sure there's bootlegs of me just giving the stink eye to a bunch of people filming.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey Eric,
Yes.
what are the people online saying?
So
people.
one viewer had a question about, obviously so much of this show relies on a lot of technical elements, but how do you think the show balances the performances with the more technical elements of Kong and that big screen? And
Yeah.
how do you think they do that?
I think that we tell the story first in a dramatic way. I think that comes from Drew's direction of how we started the process in rehearsal. We made sure that the story was being told first. It is a technical show, and you can come see it just for the technicalities, but that's what Drew's choreography does is it blends the big movements of change, and as the LED screen is kind of shifting your perspective, there's choreography, there's scene work happening. It's all integrated as one. It's not here's a scene,
Right.
here's something pretty to look at, here's the monkey. It almost reads as, I don't want to say an IMAX movie in case that's the wrong thing to say, but it kind of reads as an IMAX movie because you're so in it. You're
Yeah.
in it the whole time.
I also think Jack Thorne's book is very concise and simple, but really like it tells the story in a really beautiful
the story
way.
is simple, even if the things that Anne is going through and the
Yeah.
characters are going through are complex.
Yeah, and Christiane Pitts is not
so
the
good.
Pitts. She's fantastic. Just saying.
Barbara would like to know, you were talking a little bit about your track and the complexities of it. What is the hardest part about your track every show?
Oh, when he runs through Times Square,
Oh,
we do a series of runs, and for me physically that's the hardest part because it's the most amount of runs that we get, and we have something called offset, which offsets the weight of Kong on us, and it makes him a little bouncier. So the first 5 runs are with offset, and then the second set of runs are not.
what do you mean runs? What are you saying?
So he's literally running through
Right, but what
the
are you
streets of New
doing?
York. I am pulling up the paw and slamming it down, essentially, in a simple way. But my elbow line is pulling back, my wrist line is pulling up, the guy on the voodoo shoulder is picking his up, and I'm taking the paw and slamming it down. So it's all a team effort, but that is a lot of repetitive, heavy moving. But
Wow.
it's so worth it. 'cause
Is
that's
this
honestly
side
one
of your
the coolest-
shoulder bigger now?
My whole right side is actually
Really?
is my.
So you have to
my
work out the
physical
left side
therapist.
in your offset time.
I do. I have to do a lot of gym time to
Oh my
like
gosh.
even it out.
do
Wow.
opposites.
Wow.
Cool.
It's a
Kong
hard
has
show.
changed your body. I follow you on Instagram.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, it's a
honestly.
Kong workout. Maybe
Body
you
by
should
Kong.
market that.
Hashtag body by Kong.
Okay, and this could be our last one. Since you do prepare so much physically, what else do you do to prepare for the show? Talk us through your pre-show routine.
Drink a lot of water because we sweat a lot. I usually get there around a half hour before our normal half hour, so I'm there maybe an hour before showtime. I like to sit and kind of get my brain in it, allow myself to just relax for a minute, maybe read, play some games. I love to chat with my dressing roommates so that we're all in good spirits, so that we're ready to do a show. Because doing a show 8 times a week is very difficult, and sometimes it's easy to be like, ugh, I don't want to do this. And then you're like, we're on Broadway.
Right,
This is
right.
literally the best thing.
Right.
So I'll relax, hang out with them, and then I'll go down and do probably 10 minutes of a yoga warm-up. do some Pilates, some core, and then I start getting my heart rate up. Get dressed, brush my teeth, get into costume, and do a show.
Brush your teeth. Very
Yeah,
important.
I gotta make sure my partners aren't like, oh, that's what you had for dinner.
Don't want monkey
Gotta be
breath.
respectful.
Monkey.
Sorry.
Casey, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, thanks for
you
having
guys.
me.
You have to go see King Kong. It's at the Broadway Theater. You can't miss it. It's on 53rd and Broadway, right? It's an iconic place. You were, and he was in Miss Saigon there before
Yeah.
too. So
Oh,
anyway,
loved it there.
whatever's there next, he'll be there. It's amazing. You guys are gonna love it. Hey, Eric, why don't you take us out?
Sure thing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. And if you like a podcast, you can go to wherever you get your podcasts and search hashtag live at 5 and slam that subscribe button. Tune in tomorrow when we talk to Colton Ryan from Alice by Heart.